Hello all, hi, my name is Kyla Williams and I am a student who is currently on a study abroad trip to Brazil. We are currently in Indaiatuba, which is one of two cities that we're visiting. We're going to Indaiatuba as well as Sao Paulo, but we just got to the hotel in Indaiatuba, so I wanted to make this my introduction video. This is the first time the first time I've been able to sit down and take a video, but I have a whole bunch of pictures that I will be sharing. So yeah, we made it to our hotel. Hotel is very nice. I believe we're about to head out and get some food and check out a local market that's not too far from us. And then later on this evening, we'll be having our welcome dinner, which I'm very excited for. The menu seems to have some things that I have never tried before. And then following that, I will update you guys on the rest of how the rest of the evening went. Bye. Hi guys, welcome back. It's Kyla again. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the rest of the evening. Earlier in the video, earlier today, I spoke to you guys a little bit about what had happened up until before that point. So now I know I mentioned us going to dinner and going to the market or the mall. The mall was beautiful. I enjoyed being able to actually experience what a mall from another country looked like, and that was the best experience so far of the day for me. We then, from the mall, we went to dinner, or we took a break, then we went to dinner. And for dinner, we had so many options. I think I had the shrimp soup and the filet mignon steak and some pasta, as well as the chocolate brownie dessert, which I really enjoyed. And now, so I'm just gonna do a little fit check, show you guys what I wore to dinner. I have this pretty little black dress on, simple, casual, but a little bit fancier. And yeah, so tomorrow we will be going to John Deere Day 1. And yeah, oh, those are my other study abroad mates. Hi. So yeah, so after, gonna get some sleep, and tomorrow I'll check back in with you guys after we visit John Deere. Bye. Hi guys, welcome back to my second video. Today is our second day officially in Brazil, and today was our first day exploring the John Deere facilities. We pretty much spent the entire day with the John Deere staff, as well as a second part of our day being spent with students from a project that basically supports children from low-income families in Brazil, but I'll get more into that later in the video. So today, like I said earlier, we visited one of the John Deere facilities, well, the John Deere facility in Indaiatuba, and we spent the morning going over a couple of presentations from staff of the company. I believe the presentations that we learned were about marketing. We did one about personal growth and personal development. Another was about sustainability. And basically each of these individuals spoke a little bit about how John Deere works in these different fields and aspects. I think the most interesting thing I learned about was the PI method, who was one of our third speakers of the day. And basically P stands for performance, I stands for image, and E stands for exposure, which is something I had never heard about before. But basically PI is an acronym for, well, like I said, performance, image, and exposure. But basically the percentages of these is how you should market yourself, what makes you a good candidate, for job interviews, for resumes, to make yourself more marketable. And the P, performance, so they said about 10% of what you do should be performance based. about 1% should be, or sorry, about 30% should be image-based, and about 60% exposure-based. And performance can be day by day, how you carry yourself throughout each day, what your resume looks like, as well as your work skills. Image is about your interpersonal and social skills, as well as like how someone else might view you. And then exposure is making yourself visible, networking, volunteer activities, getting yourself out there in the field. So I think that was probably my most interesting, which was the most interesting presentation to me of that morning. And then after our presentations, we headed to lunch at the greenhouse, which was about a short walk from the John Deere facility that we visited. And I actually really enjoyed the lunch. They had one of my favorite desserts, which is creme brulee, and that was top tier. And then after lunch, we visited the CESI building, in which I spoke about a little bit earlier, where the Project Dream was the project where John Deere was partnering with this nonprofit group to help students, under low-income students, basically help them through school, help them through certain activities, push them to go to college, and then eventually these students would end up interning and working for John Deere, which I thought was an awesome and amazing opportunity for these students. And during this experience, I got to speak with a lot of the students, and I will say they were the sweetest students, high school students I have ever met. Their ages were between like 15, 16, 17. I have a whole bunch of pictures that I'll be putting in my presentation about these awesome students. But like I said, they were very sweet. They wanted to know a lot about America, as well as like what attending a HBCU was like at A&T, and we gave them all the good things, and our real opinions about our school and everything. And I do think that they learned something. I learned something. A couple of students there gave me some good suggestions for some Brazilian music that I definitely added to my playlist to listen for later. And then they also had a part of the day where we did 2 other activities. The first activity was some of our students were selected to play basketball in wheelchairs with some disabled, or they were different disabilities, individuals that played basketball in a wheelchair. And I know a couple of students who did it enjoyed it. They spoke a little bit about it at the end of the experience, and a lot of them said fun. They said that they had respect for these individuals, which I know that they felt good hearing that. And then the second activity we did was a blindfolded activity, and this was put on a nonprofit organization that supports the blind individuals in Brazil. And this activity, we were blindfolded, and we were given an exercise where we had the food set in front of us, and we had to find our plates, find our meals, and eat and pour drinks while blindfolded. Our table got a compliment, and they said that we did actually pretty well, given the circumstances. So yeah, another activity that definitely made me feel appreciative for the certain things that we do have, and a lot of times the things we take for granted for. But it was also a very good experience, and that sums up our day at the CESI, or our time at CESI. And then after CESI, we went back to John Deere, and we had happy hour as well as dinner, so it's pretty much in the same thing. And we just talked about what we did during the day, how the rest of their day went, how the rest of our day went, and basically got to talk with the John Deere staff on a more personal level, as well as bonding with some of my classmates, because sometimes throughout the day you're busy working on the activities, and you don't have a lot of time to just sit down and talk. So I enjoyed being able to just talk and really get to know some of my classmates a little better. Let's see. So that was the events of the day. And then finally learned, I believe I mentioned what I learned was definitely the pie acronym, which I had never heard before. And I definitely believe it's something that I will take with me and I will use, in my remaining years in college as well as into the workforce, because I definitely believe it can apply to, trying to find a job, interviews, networking, and all the things that come with that. So, like I said, that was day one, or this is day one of John Deere, and tomorrow is day 2 of John Deere. Tomorrow we will be getting into the factory tour, which is something I'm very interested about. Unfortunately, I've been told we're not going to be able to take any photos there, but I'll definitely relay all my information to you guys, or to my vlog, verbally, so you guys hopefully get a very good description of that. But I guess I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hi guys, I'm back again. You know who it is, it's Kyla Williams. Today is our second day, or sorry, our third day in Brazil, but our second day visiting John Deere. Unfortunately, it was our last, and I say unfortunately because the experience and the time spent at John Deere has just been so amazing, but I'll get into that a little later. So like I said, today is May 16th, our second day at John Deere. We started our day off as usual, early in the morning. We got breakfast, and then we headed straight to the John Deere facility for a tour today. So we got to tour one of the plants of John Deere. There's actually 2 plants that we learned, and 3 warehouses. Each 2 warehouses supply the supplies for the first plant, and the 3rd warehouse supplies the supplies used in the 2nd warehouse, the 2nd plant, fun fact. But like I said, today we toured the John Deere facility. Unfortunately, I was not able to get any pictures from the facility because of their policies, but the facility was huge, very nice. I liked that they gave us the opportunity to speak to some of the individuals that worked there, which were individuals of part of the DEI, diversity, equity and inclusion, the DEI, and one of these people were of the LGBTQ community. Another was a female who was working on projects to make the workplace more inclusive for females, and she spoke a little bit how the workbenches that they work at could be kind of difficult for women to access, so they made certain workbenches you're able to remotely control them to make them go up and down, so it'd be easier for women, as well as people who may have difficulty reaching the tall shelves. You can adjust the height of the shelf and make it easier for people to reach, and I thought that was really cool, and I really liked how passionate these individuals were in making sure that the workplace was inclusive for all. After the John Deere tour, which I got some cool pics before we went into the plant. I got, the hat and the gloves, but you'll see all the pictures later. So after we left the John Deere plant, we went to back to the John Deere building that we were at yesterday, and we got to experience lunch with their interns, which they're about our age, but between 20, 21, and 22, which I think was awesome that we got to speak to individuals our age, because yesterday we focused mainly on the people with disabilities and the younger high school age students. So today we got to talk to the interns, and at first it was a bit overwhelming just because they kind of just wanted us to go and to speak, and my personality, I'm a bit more reserved, a bit more shy. But after, I got there and I had a little food, and I was like, you know what? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so let me just come out my shell. And I ended up meeting a couple of amazing women and men. I got a couple of people's social media, so hopefully we get to stay in touch in the future. And I think that was an awesome experience, being able to talk to them, learn a little bit about what life is like in Brazil as a young adult, as well as what they do as interns at the John Deere as part of the Acelera program, which is mainly geared toward individuals from the Black population. So I thought that was very cool how, John Deere is taking the initiative to incorporate more Black people in their workforce, especially in Brazil, which one thing I did learn about today is that the treatment of Black people in Brazil is definitely not where it should be. They're definitely not treated, how African Americans are treated in America. It's very similar here in Brazil. They don't have the same opportunities to go to college, to get into the workforce, to have higher positions. So I like how John Deere is taking the initiative to help change this. I think that's amazing. And so after we had lunch with the interns, we went to a couple more breakout sessions. In the room, we had coffee, and then after our breakout sessions, we got to speak to the interns some more. This time we did like speed groups where we were able to talk to different interns, and I got to talk to a couple of interns who I was not able to talk to in that morning, which I thought was really cool also. So like I said, I learned a lot about Brazil in itself, about what it is to be Black in Brazil. One fun fact that I did learn is that the way Brazilians self-identify is a bit different than how we do in America. Black is different in Brazil than it is in America. So I thought that was interesting, and I think that was one of the more interesting facts that I learned today, because it's not something you think about when every day in America you kind of have a more clear understanding of what Black is. So after that, we talked a little bit. We had some speakers come in. We learned more about, John Deere, DEI. And then finally, we ended the day with a closing remarks. And let's just say it made me really happy how happy, I guess, John Deere was about having us here. It always makes you feel good to know that people enjoyed your presence and they thought very highly of you, which I thought very highly of the staff that spoke with us during the our John Deere tours. So I thought that was amazing. And we got gifts. I have pictures of my gifts and what was inside it, which I'll definitely be adding later to this video. But I'll just explain a little bit. We got a nice reusable cup from John Deere. I got a keychain, a piece from my keychain. I also got some candy, Brazilian candy, as well as a pen, some colored pencils that have all the different shades and varieties of people you might find in Brazil, as well as a notebook and a pen. So some very nice items, to have the memories of this experience. And then following that, we went to happy hour, which again, very, very amazing. It was very fun. I got to speak to some more interns, especially an intern named Pedro, who had us laughing the entire time. I was just amazed how, even though there was that language barrier, all the people I was sitting with, we were so into the conversation. We were laughing, we were having fun. Even if we had to pull up Google Translate a couple of times, it was really fun, and I actually enjoyed the night a lot. So I'm excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow, which is May 17th, we will be heading to Sao Paulo tomorrow. We have a business tour in the morning, and then we will be heading to Sao Paulo afterwards. And Sao Paulo, I've heard, is a big city. A lot of people are comparing it to New York, which I have personally never been to New York, so I'm a bit nervous about the big city, but I'm excited to see Sao Paulo. So first, I'm going to show you what the city looks like, because I think it's very pretty, and then I am going to see you guys tomorrow. So I'm on the rooftop right now, so we're going to check out. Let's just show you guys. Yeah, that's what Indaiatuba at night looks like. So like I said, I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, bye. Hey guys, it is Kyla Williams, back again with another video to add to my vlog of my study abroad trip here in to Brazil. So as you know, today I headed to Sao Paulo, but before we headed to Sao Paulo, we did a business visit to the Kion group in Indaiatuba, and that group is responsible for the construction of forklifts. Forklifts are their tall machine. If not, I'll add a picture of what those are in my video. Along with forklifts, they also help other companies build warehouses. And one thing I did learn is that Kion Group is actually very good partners with Amazon. And they help, build Amazon's warehouses as well as some other construction business that they have with Amazon that they work together on. For our Kion visit, we got to listen to a couple of presentations about what they do, who does what, different people were responsible for different things. And I thought it was very interesting how they had everybody speak about what they did in the company. But I think the most interesting thing is that the CEO of the Kion group in Indaiatuba actually came and spoke with us personally. And usually CEOs are busy or they don't have time to do things like this. So I thought it was very nice and considerate of them to have him come and speak to us a little bit. I know a lot of the students did enjoy hearing him speak about the things he does or what he did to become a CEO. And I think the thing that I took from that was hard work. Hard work and dedication is really what sets CEOs and people who, own their own companies and businesses apart from the rest of us. And I thought that was very interesting. So after we heard the presentations, we got to tour their plant. And like from the John Deere visits, we are not allowed to record or video inside their plant, inside of their warehouses, just for security purposes. But this warehouse was somewhat similar to the John Deere warehouse that we saw in North Carolina, as well as the one we saw in Indaiatuba, whereas, everything's an assembly line. There's different sections for different parts that are put together. But the one thing that was different that we got to see at the Kion group was that their storage warehouse for just parts, and it was extremely big. And the shelves went really, really high, which the guy was explaining that they can do such things like that because they have forklifts that will take them all the way up and all the way down to get their supplies that they need. And I thought that was very interesting and very cool. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't have pictures of it, but you have to take my word for it. After we finished the tour, we got lunch, and I thought the lunch was okay. It was not necessarily to my taste, but it was good. I think the food was definitely more traditional Brazilian food. But like I said, I enjoyed it. I ate everything. And then following lunch, we said our goodbyes and our thank yous, and the wonderful people of the Kion group gave us this little, it's a wooden puzzle, but it's a wooden puzzle of a forklift. So once I put this together, I'm going to add a picture of this. If you can see, it's like little pieces. And then once I'm done, it's supposed to look like this. So like I said, once I finish and put it together, I will add a picture of that to my video. So following our visit for the Kion group, we got on our bus and we drove to Sao Paulo. It was about an 1.5-hour drive. I was asleep for most of the drive, so unfortunately, I did not get to see our entry into Sao Paulo, but my fellow classmates told me that it was very pretty, very scenic. There was a lot of houses and, like I said, a lot of scenery that I wish I could have seen, but hopefully I'll get some good pictures from them. And once we made it to Sao Paulo, we decided to go to the Ibirapuera Park, which is basically a park that they're very a park that's very popular and something Sao Paulo is known for. Once we got to the park, we visited the Afro Museum, the Brazil Afro Museum, and we got to tour and we got to see some amazing art by African artists, as well as some art featuring African artists. I definitely have pictures of that, so I would definitely add those in. I think my most favorite display of art was probably the costumes. They were so colorful, big, and beautiful and bright, and I just like knowing that us, like people like us, African Americans or Brazilians, made something like that, and I think that is something I was sort of proud of. So I really enjoyed touring the museum, and I thought it was very, very beautiful. And then after that, we headed back to the hotel. A couple of us decided to go and get dinner, and then following that, we relaxed and we rested because it had been a very, very long day. So tomorrow, which will be May 18th, we are going to have a day of touring Sao Paulo with our guide, Ed. I believe we're gonna hit the market as well as some other things. So I'm excited to see and tour around Sao Paulo. And I will be back tomorrow with an update. Thank you. Bye. Hey everyone, it is Kyla again, back again with another video. Today's recap will be a recap of May 18th. Today's activities included visiting the market in downtown Sao Paulo. We also did a bus tour, and we got to see some of the most popular places around Sao Paulo. And so, yeah, I'll get into my video. The first thing we did, well, like I said, was we visited the market in downtown Sao Paulo. The market was a very interesting place. It was a lot of people in one space, and it was just very interesting to me to see how many different businesses were fit into the one same area. And what I mean by this is that there was restaurants on one side of the market, and then there was aisles of people selling meats, selling fruits, selling this, selling that, selling coffee, selling souvenirs. So it was very interesting to see how much stuff was in one area. To me, I thought it would be a little bit more overwhelming because, like I said, a small space, a lot of people, but it wasn't really all that overwhelming to me. I feel like we were able to navigate the aisles very well. The only thing that stuck out to me was the smell. I felt like there was just a lot of smells in one place, and it wasn't bad. It was just a lot of different smells mixing together. So I thought that was interesting as well. But I actually enjoyed touring through the market. One of the facts that I learned at the market today was that coffee beans come in different colors, which I'm a coffee drinker, but I'm not really a coffee drinker where I know much about coffee beans or I ground my own coffee beans. So our tour guide was just explaining to us how the different color of the coffee beans makes a difference in the flavor, and how Americans tend to like darker coffee beans, whereas Brazilians like the lighter coffee beans, which has a stronger taste and to them. Whereas the dark coffee beans is, they are used to make American drinks that are like frothy and lattes and a lot of the things you find at Starbucks. Which, another interesting fact is that Brazilians don't really like Starbucks. They don't like all the extra drinks. They just like all the extra, additions and lattes and, frappuccinos. They like coffee. So, and I thought that was interesting. Once our tour guide gave us a tour of the market, we also were giving a task. And in this task, we were split up into three different groups, and each group was given a different business to visit. Our group was giving a cafe, a local cafe in the area. But unfortunately, once we got there, after about like a 20-minute walk, the cafe was closed. And to us, it looked permanently closed because there was like, no hours or anything close by that, could tell us if it was open or not. So the cafe unfortunately was closed, but we were able to be resourceful and we found another cafe not too far away from our original destination. So we were able to sit down, look around, observe, and we were able to answer some of the questions that were given to us. One of the questions included what food our cafe sold, and the cafe that we went to sold a variety of food. I mean, they sold lunch, sandwiches, pasta, and coffee. They had milk, juices, and definitely a variety of desserts. I got one of the desserts as well as chocolate milk, and I cannot exactly remember the name of the dessert that I got, but it was best described as a biscuit cookie with chocolate, but very good. I loved it. If I could have it again, I would. So after we ate our food, drank our milk, drank our coffee and everything, we headed back to the market for lunch. And for lunch, we had like chicken sandwiches and of course, orange juice, the guaranaha, which is the popular drink here in Brazil. And then we boarded the bus and we made our way to our bus tour. We had a couple of different places, including a flea market in the area. The flea market I thought was very cool. I bought a lot of trinkets at the flea market, as well as stuff that I have to give back to my family and some souvenirs. The flea market itself was a bit overwhelming to me because there was just a lot of people in the one area. But the friend that I was traveling with, we were able to find some side shops where you kind of have to go down into them, and they were like a little tucked away, but we were able to find some awesome stuff, and I got some cool jewelry that I really like and that I am very happy about. So I'm happy that we kind of broke off and explored a little bit outside of the flea market area. But after the flea market, we drove through a town called Liberdade, or Japantown, and basically it's equivalent to what Chinatown would be in New York in America, and it was really cool. And I knew I was gonna definitely put that on my list to visit for my my free day tomorrow. But after we drove through Liberdade, and unfortunately we were not able to get off and tour it, we went to Batman's Alley, which was basically an alleyway that has a whole bunch of graffiti on the walls, as well as vendors and people selling items and goods. It's a great place to take pictures. If you want, pictures with the backdrops and everything, if you want to go shopping and get some goods. But our tour guide walked us through, and we learned a little bit more about what the native local people do on a day, for weekends for fun and everything. And I thought that was pretty cool. It makes them seem a little less like, oh, this is cool, this is touristy, and more like, people. I hope that makes sense. And then following the Batman's Alley tour, we got ice cream at one of the shops in Batman's Alley, and then our tour guide led us home. But yeah, the entire day, to me, I loved it. I had a lot of fun today. I thought the market was cool. I believe my favorite part was probably the flea market, even though it was a bit overwhelming. I like being able to shop around and see what the vendors made, what was homemade, like handmade, as well as some things that you can't find in America. So I thought that was the most interesting thing of the day. But tomorrow is our free day, so I will be back with a short recap of what I decided to do for the day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hello guys, it is Kyla again. I am back for another recap. Today is May 19th, and like I said in my previous video, today was a free day for us students. And you know, it was a day that we did not have anything planned. We didn't have any business visits or any tours of Sao Paulo or cultural activities, so we got to basically explore the culture ourselves in a sense. Me and a couple of other students, we kind of planned an itinerary. We tried to hit everything that everybody wanted to hit. So we started our day off with brunch. You know, we wanted to see what brunch would look like in Brazil. Unfortunately, the day did not go how we planned it, and we had to find another brunch spot. Just because of the wait times. We actually went to a brunch spot on Paulista Avenue, which our tour guide spoke about yesterday, and he was just explaining to us how on the weekends or on Sundays they close down the avenue for people, so people are able to walk down the street, drive. We saw a lot of people riding bicycles and skating. They had music and bands. It was very, very lively, and there was a lot going on, but it was really nice to see. But like I said, we believe that that's what made it kind of crowded, so we weren't really able to get the breakfast that we wanted, but we found another place not too far, and we got crepes, which were really good. I had never had a crepe that wasn't sweet before, so my crepe had meat on it as well as like some type of cheese, but pretty good. So after that, we wanted to see Liberdade, which we did make a plan to see it. I was really excited about seeing it after we learned more about it in our video. We learned more about it in our tour of the market yesterday. So we were able to visit Liberdade. Oh, I forgot to mention, we took the subway everywhere today, which was exciting for me because I have never been on a subway before. So we went on the subway, and it was my first time ever taking public transportation. But I don't want to brag, but I think I'm pretty good. Not once did we get lost, and we made it to all our destinations. So I thought that was very, very cool. And I learned that Brazil divides their subway station by colors. So there's different colors take you to different parts of the city and different places, which I thought was pretty cool. So like I said, we took the subway from Paulista Avenue to Liberdade, and once we got to Liberdade, there was another market going on, which we asked some of the locals, and we learned that it is something that they only do on the weekends, unfortunately, because we wish we had more time to see everything, but we didn't. So we had to leave a little earlier than expected, but we got most of what we wanted to do there done. So the market only happens on the weekends, but once we got there, we toured around. I got another gift for a family member, and then we headed from Liberdade to Batman's Alley because some of us really liked it yesterday but weren't able to get the pictures that we wanted, so we went back in outfits that we wanted, and we were able to get some really cute pictures. I hope everybody likes their pictures. I was a photographer for the day, and I think I take pretty good pictures. But like I said, we got some pictures done. We went back to the ice cream place we went to yesterday because everybody really liked it, which I thought was cool. Our tour guide Ed did good. He did good on that recommendation. But we went back to the ice cream place, and then we were going to end our day at a festival in the Ibirapuera Park. But based off a recommendation from one of the locals we spoke to at the mall the other day, but unfortunately we learned that the park festival was not free. We thought it was, but it wasn't free, so unfortunately we weren't able to go to the festival. And we just walked around the park a little bit, enjoyed the nice weather. The weather has been very, very nice here in Sao Paulo. Not too hot, not too cold. You can walk around without a jacket. So we went to the park, and we walked around a little bit. And then we headed back to the hotel because, at that point it was getting pretty late and we were all tired. So we rested up for a little bit, and then we enjoyed some nice pasta for dinner. But overall, I think today was pretty cool. I think today was pretty nice. I did not necessarily learn any like historical facts, but one thing I did learn from today was that Brazilians really enjoy relaxing. They enjoy, taking life. To me, I believe they enjoy taking life at a slower pace, enjoying things more than I think we do in America. I feel like in America, a lot of times everything is just so rush, push, and we're always trying to do so much that we never really take the time to sit back and just enjoy the things that we do have. And coming back home, that is something that I definitely would like to focus on and prioritize more, just because I think we do need to spend more time, just sitting back, relaxing, and just, enjoying life as we go on. But like I said, today was very fun. I got to know my classmates a lot better, spending a lot of time with them. And yeah, I only have good things to say about today. Tomorrow is going to be May 20th, which sadly is our last day here in Brazil. We are going to end our trip visiting 2 businesses tomorrow, as well as having a farewell dinner with World Strides, the people who organized this trip for us. I'm not going to get sad or anything today, but I may be sad tomorrow. But yeah, so I'll come back tomorrow with another video, with another update. But thank you. Oh, I wanted to show you guys the view. That's the view from my balcony. Very pretty, isn't it? All right, like I said, good night, guys. Bye. Hi everybody, it's Kyla again. You know what time it is? It's time for another video. Unfortunately, I believe this is going to be our last video. Today is officially May 20th, and you know what that means? That means it is our last day in Brazil. Our last day in Brazil, last day in Sao Paulo. Tomorrow we will be boarding our flight very early in the morning to head out of Sao Paulo to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta back to Greensboro. It's a bit bittersweet. I'm sad and happy at the same time. I'm sad because I've had the most amazing time here in Brazil, and I'm not ready to leave. I would like to, explore more of the city, more of the culture, visit some other states, maybe hit Rio de Janeiro. But I'm also happy, to be going back, because I do miss my family. I miss my home. I miss my own bed. So, like I said, bittersweet, but more bitter than anything. So let's get into the video. Like I said, today was May 20th, and today we had 2 business visits. The first business visit we had was from a design firm called AKQA. And they design, anything from like ads for companies such as Netflix. They did Uber. They also work with artists. One artist that I remember them mentioning in their presentation was Usher, as well as the Sao Paulo firm worked with artists from like popular Brazilian artists, including Icarus, which is someone I haven't heard of before, but I definitely would like to check out some of their music later on. But like I said, it was a design firm, and they make like ads or, campaigns for these different, companies, anyone who's interested. By far, I think their presentation was my favorite. They definitely had more, I guess I would say, more interesting topics that would relate to something I would be interested in. Definitely because they talked more about like, pop culture, as well as their presentation was just really nice, very colorful. They had a lot of music. I liked where they, how they do business based off of their morals and beliefs, and they don't let, you know, things such as money and popularity and things come before that. And I think that is something we should all really value a little bit more. And I thought that was a really cool thing to add or in their presentation. So something I learned about them is that they have multiple different firms. Sao Paulo, the firm of Sao Paulo is not their only one. They have a couple in the States. I believe New York was one of them, New York and California, and then they have some in like Milan, Australia, Japan. So they're more global than I realized until this presentation. But yeah, like I said, their presentation was by far my favorite. I got some amazing cookies from their presentation. They gave me a whole jar of them, which I will add a picture to, and I wish they had told me the recipe because they were really good. So after we visited their firm, we had a couple hours to ourselves. Me and a friend went to the mall, and we were able to get some souvenirs. I realized that I haven't mentioned any of my souvenirs up until now, but I'm definitely going to include some pictures of them. I'll, you know, lay them out and show everybody what souvenirs I got. But this time around, I ended up we went to the Kit Kat store, and I ended up getting like a Kit Kat and all these different interesting, you know, flavors that are unique to Brazil or Sao Paulo. So I'll definitely be adding those in later because there's some interesting fruit flavors that mix with the chocolate. So like I said, I'm very interested in seeing what that tastes like. But afterwards, we headed back to the hotel, we got changed, and we headed to our second business, which was the Bank Bradesco. And we headed there to do our presentation, and I actually was more interested in it than I thought I was. I'm not really big on like finance and money just because it's not necessarily something that would interest me. So I was like, I wasn't sure if I would actually get into the presentation, but it was actually very interesting because he not only did he just talk about money, but he talked about money related to Sao Paulo. So one interesting fact, or Brazil. So one interesting fact that I did learn is that Brazil, Sao Paulo, has a 7% unemployment rate, which is 8% lower than it was back in, checking my notes, back in 2021. So interesting fact. So that means that their unemployment rate is decreasing. That means employment is increasing, which is a good thing, good for the economy. Another thing that I learned is that, checking my notes. Oh, yes, the interesting fact. So another thing I learned is that they are currently, they have a new law, or they're trying to get a new law passed where when an employee fires someone, the employee can't just come back, get a lawyer, and sue the company to get their job back, to get money, and they just passed that law. So that's why a lot of times big companies and corporations and things like the bank have difficulty firing people because they're at risk of being sued. And I thought that was interesting because in America, that's definitely not the case. You know, people get fired all the time, and you know, they don't just have the luxury of, or not I wouldn't say a luxury, but they wouldn't have the opportunity just to, you know, get a lawyer and then get their job back, get money back. So I thought that was very interesting that is something that they just got regulated. But like I said, the presentation was really nice. It kept me interested, and yeah, I learned a couple of interesting facts about Brazil related to their money, their economy, their jobs, and yeah, it was a pretty good presentation. And so following that, we headed toward Barbacoa, which was the steakhouse that we had our farewell dinner at. And I enjoyed dinner. You know, we got to talk to my classmates and friends. I wouldn't say for the last time, but it will be the last time of us all sitting down together, enjoying dinner together, since it's the summertime. So a lot of us, you know, are going back home or going to our internship. So we don't have the opportunity to just, you know, go back to the classroom and see each other anymore. So it was good to talk to them, you know. A lot of us Did make plans to hopefully meet up after the summer ends, or definitely during the school year. Everyone's coming back, even though some of them are going to be seniors. Like I said, it was a cool evening. We got to present our administrators as well as our tour guide with just some thank you notes, you know, just to let them know how much we appreciate everything that they've done for us thus far. And that was a really fun thing to try to orchestrate and get everybody on board with. But I'm happy that we did, because yeah, I'm happy that we were able to just give them a token of our appreciation. And yeah, I'm gonna try not to cry, because I really did enjoy being here in this experience. It's something that I will forever be grateful for being selected for this program. There's not much else I can say about that, but other than I'm just extremely grateful to be given this opportunity. So yeah, like I said, tomorrow we're going to be on a plane. I might add another farewell video into that, but yeah, goodbye for now. Thank you. Hello everybody, I'm currently in an airport, as you could probably tell by my airport gear, but today is the 21st, May 21st, which signals our official and last day of our trip. Like I said in my previous video yesterday, you know, today was just a travel day. All we're going to be doing today was traveling, so we started off Sao Paulo very early in the morning. I think we said our flight was at 10, but we had to get there around 6 o'clock, you know, to check in, go through customs, which is a very interesting process, something I had never gone through before. But contrary to what a lot of people said, it was actually pretty simple. As long as you followed instructions, followed directions, and you listened to the officers and the staff, everything went very smoothly for me. Yeah, so customs wasn't a bad experience for the first time. Then after we left the airport in Sao Paulo, we headed to Atlanta, where we had a layover. It was a long time, but me and a friend were able to catch up on some TV shows, some TV shows that we had not been able to catch up on while we were abroad, so that was very fun for us. And then following that, got some food, my first time having American food in a while, and it was good. I ended up getting Chinese food, which is a little different, but I didn't get any of that in Brazil, so it was a welcome, you know, something familiar. And then after that, we boarded our plane from Atlanta to Greensboro, and yeah, so just a little recap of our day. Like I said before in my previous video, I am so thankful that I was given this opportunity to learn about the different aspects of the John Deere business, the programs that they're doing for students that are lower income students, less advantaged students, as well as African Americans and minorities in Brazil. I think that is such an amazing thing and opportunity that those students have. As well as the other companies that took the time out of their busy schedules and their days to let us students come in and listen and you know, speak to us. I'm very appreciative and very grateful. So thank you so much for listening to me, and yeah, and that concludes my vlog. Thank you guys. Bye.
Say what you said again. Say it again.
Long life. You know. Spread, conquer. Get rich, prosper. Remind the friends.
Thank you, Eddie.